This is Bob. And Bob, like all of us, strives to live the perfect day every day. His morning starts with a healthy 15 minutes of meditation, followed by an intense workout session to keep himself in peak condition.
Calves were actually my weakest body part.
He works hard, eats clean, and makes quality time for his friends and family. He gets done. But Bob has become a prisoner of his own success. Life's just become too easy to him right now, so Bob decides it's time to spice things up a bit and take up a brand new hobby. Something he tried before but could never quite get the hang of. Procrastination. Bob starts to research the noble art of procrastination and finds that the ancient art of procrastination dates back thousands of years. The great Greek philosophers of the age, like Socrates and Aristotle, developed their own word to describe this type of behaviour: acrasia. And today, pretty much everyone procrastinates. Recent studies have shown that around 20% of adults are chronic procrastinators. But that's nothing. An incredible 80% of college students consider themselves to be procrastinators. What does that mean? Well, it means that 20% of college students are liars, and that procrastination is in fashion right now. Procrastination is something we all do, but never really admit to, like stalking our ex on social media or peeing in the shower. So why is procrastination so popular these days? Well, it's because of how our brains are wired. At its core, the human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. When we're presented with a task, particularly something we don't want to do, our brain's pleasure-seeking limbic system, which mainly wants to chill, watch some TV and grab a snack, goes to war against our prefrontal cortex, the logic centre of the brain that knows we should really get to work. The limbic system is a beast in the ring, like a prime Mike Tyson, meaning it wins most of the time, leading to procrastination. And with some newfound strength of his limbic, Bob was able to start his new life of procrastination. Bob has always been a great student, and he has his chemistry final in 3 weeks' time. Whereas Bob before would get straight to work studying for the exam, now he instead sits around and thinks about all of the effort involved in studying. For him to study, he has to find all of his books, drive all the way to the library, attempt to study for a few hours in between many coffee breaks, and then drive all the way home. He used to think of each of these as small tasks he could easily achieve, but now, instead, he needs to build up the enormity of all of them in his head, so he completely avoids them, opting to just stay at home and watch YouTube videos about extreme ironing instead. Oh yes, that's a real thing. As the philosopher Homer once said, no, not that Homer, Homer Simpson of course, trying is the first step to failure. And whenever Bob starts to feel some motivation kick in to get studying, he reminds himself that on average, people who procrastinate earn approximately $15,000 less per year than people who don't procrastinate, according to a large-scale study on the effects of procrastination. As the saying goes, mo money, mo problems. So clearly, procrastinating is the way to go here. He'll have way fewer problems in his life if he does. Now, unfortunately, every so often, Bob can fall back into his old, productive ways. But don't worry, we have the perfect tool to put a stop to this: his phone. Bob usually puts his phone in another room before he starts studying, which acts as a commitment device to stop him looking at it while he's studying. But the new Bob decides to leave his phone right on his desk, so it's ready to distract him at any moment. Social media, games, and other apps are a great way to waste time instead of being productive. Now, Bob used to set specific timelines for himself to get work done in order to increase productivity and efficiency, since the research shows that this is the best way to stay productive. But now he's decided to set no deadlines for himself at all. He just sort of wanders aimlessly from task to task. He's also started to completely overestimate how much work he can do in a short space of time. Previously, if Bob had 3 weeks to get an assignment done, he'd space the work out equally over the 3 weeks. But now he's much more efficient and gets all the work done in 3 caffeine-infused sleepless nights instead. Now, you may be thinking, Bob's life is still looking pretty good right now, right? He still managed to scrape a C in that chemistry final, and he got that assignment done by putting in way less R's. So what's the problem? Well, procrastination, when it relates to time-bound activities, which are those with a strict externally imposed deadline, isn't terribly destructive. Why? Because time-bound procrastination eventually gets solved because of the presence of a forcing function, something that eventually makes you get to work, like the potential to fail an exam or get fired from your job. But what about the things Bob's procrastinating on where there's no deadline? We call this latent procrastination, and it silently lurks in the background of all of our lives, going unnoticed for months or even years. We all have incredibly important things in our lives that we're procrastinating on. Maybe you're looking to change career, fix a broken relationship with a family member, or get out there and start dating so you can meet the love of your life, but haven't gotten round to doing them just yet. You're waiting for the right moment. These things can go unaddressed for far too long, until eventually time runs out and our deepest desires slowly but surely crash and burn, the remnants of which wash up like driftwood on the sands of time. Sure, Bob managed to get through his final exam, he got the assignment done too. Good for him. But now, 2 years on from taking up his new hobby, Bob hasn't been to the gym in the last 6 months, spoken to his father since that fight they had last year, or been on a date in the last 2 years. Like all of us, he's procrastinating on so many important things in life. His schoolwork was just the tip of the procrastination iceberg. In truth, every single one of us are experts in procrastination, practicing it each and every day. We just don't realise it. So, if you're looking to maximise your misery just like Bob, then be sure to embrace procrastination in all of its glory. Whether it's avoiding doing your laundry or making that career change you've always wanted to, procrastination that's clear as day to see, or the more destructive, insidious form that's hiding in plain sight, the deadly but silent killer of our dreams. So, go ahead and start embracing a life of procrastination today. Well, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow instead, or the day after. What's the worst that can happen?